Hello everyone, my name is OSK, and today we're going to be talking about Showdown, the new campaign mode freshly released for NARAKA Bladepoint. Showdown is a new PvE mode where you can face down different monsters and challenges with up to 2 friends at the same time. Each of you will be able to pick a different character in order to take the fight to Omnius, the main villain of this story. Speaking of characters, let's talk about them now. There are currently 6 characters available at the time of making this video. Each character has a fixed skill and ultimate for you to choose from, as well as a fixed melee weapon and ranged weapon. Furthermore, they each come with a character level and a character sense, which will determine your strength in the new mode. By upgrading a character's level, you can increase their base stats as well as unleashing new abilities in the game mode. For example, at level 4, Viper Ning will learn Phoenix Blast, and at level 6, she will upgrade her armor to Epic. Upgrading your character level over time is of course important, but the most important system is the character sense. Sense is upgraded by collecting and upgrading different soul jades. You can gain soul jades by completing weekly challenges as well as completing the modes themselves. You can equip up to 6 soul jades at one time per character, and you can upgrade each soul jade by selecting them and choosing the upgrade option. From there, you can feed different soul jades into the original soul jade to increase its sense level, which will determine your strength in each mode. In fact, each level has a different sense level that's recommended to it. If you are below the recommended sense level, you will deal less damage and take more damage from each of the mobs in that level. And it's vice versa. If you have a higher sense level, then you will deal more damage and take less damage from the mob. In Chapter 1, there are 3 levels, the first of which is Eventide Ember. We will be going over the objectives to win the level, the different monsters that you will face, and any differences that you will see in the hard mode versus the normal mode. One key difference you'll notice between normal and hard difficulty is that sometimes the hard modes will have an extra omen attached to them. Omens are special conditions that will apply to the enemies that you face in the hard modes. These can include extra devastating attacks for some of the evil ints, or they could be field effects that will damage you over time. You can check the details of these omens if they are not random by going to the level select screen and seeing what kind of omens are possible. The objective for Eventide is pretty simple. You must work together with your team to gather 3 runestones and then head to the westward cliff and defeat the fiery monster. These runestones are collected from purple chests that will open once you defeat enough evil ints around their vicinity. For those of you that don't know, evil ints are the official name of the monsters that you will be facing. The first type of evil ints are these smaller skeleton guys, and they possess both normal attacks and focus attacks. The second enemy type are these larger evil ints, and they possess an Astral Aegis. An Astral Aegis is like an extra shield on a mob that prevents the hit stun of normal attacks and focus attacks. The only exception to this is any attack that has golden focus will be able to stagger someone with Astral Aegis. Once an enemy's Astral Aegis is depleted, they will be stunned for a short time, which will allow you to attack for free. You will also deal more damage to mobs that don't have an Astral Aegis. The next enemy type are these little flyer ints. They can shoot poisoned range attacks, which are very easy to avoid normally. They also die in one hit, which should make it very easy to take them out. The next enemy type are these int archers. They of course can attack from long range, but they also possess close range normal attacks, and on the harder modes, a golden focus attack. The next enemy type are these kamikaze bombers, and they will leap with a purple focus attack before exploding and dealing a large amount of damage. Finally, we have the last enemy type, which are these healer ints. They do not possess an Astral Aegis, but they do possess a lot of health and golden focus, which makes them a bit tankier than normal. As long as they are alive, they will heal each and every int in the surrounding area. When you collect all 3 runestones, you will be able to defeat the fiery monster. This is your first introduction into boss monsters in the Showdown mode, and thankfully this one is not that hard to take out, as I have done it solo, while the mode itself is a trios mode. When a boss monster spawns, they might have this red aura about them. That means you cannot attack them just yet. But as you can see, when you do start to attack them, they can have a fairly large Astral Aegis bar. As we stated earlier, this bar will need to be depleted before you're able to stagger the boss. Once the boss is staggered, you'll be able to deal more damage to them for a short time before the Astral Aegis bar regenerates. Going over the mechanics of the fiery monster, the first attack you'll want to watch out for is this blue focus sweep attack. This attack has a long animation where the fiery monster will glow blue, bring his lantern over to his left side, so on your right hand side, and then will swing after a brief flash of blue focus. You can counter this rather easily for a lot of damage. In general, counter strikes will deal more damage to Astral Aegis than most other moves. They will also knock the boss back for a bit. As you can see on the normal mode, the fiery monster is down after just one counter strike. The boss also has normal attacks that will not be counterable, such as his ranged attack where he swirls his lantern in the air and fires about 5 beams at you. This is easily dodged by tap dodging. The boss has another ranged attack where he will lift his left hand, make it glow, and then fire 5 spinning spells at you. Keep in mind that this attack is predictive, so whichever direction you are moving is the direction that he will throw. If you're moving towards him, he will throw them right in front of him. If you're moving away, he might throw them a little bit further. Simply time your tap dodge towards the end of his hand animation and you should be fine. If they hit you, they will deal a small amount of damage and hit stun you just like a basic attack. There is also this basic attack where the fiery monster will wind towards the right and then go for a straight stab with his lantern. It is a short animation and I would recommend tap dodging to the right. He also has a close range blast attack where he will swing his lantern around twice before exploding the area around him. If you see 2 swings, make sure you get away from the monster. Once the fiery monster hits about 50% health, he will then have the ability to power up and deal his attacks a little bit faster. You can see this take place when he swings his left hand and dialogue appears on the left hand side of the screen. In addition to this, the fiery monster may teleport around the battlefield right before launching attacks, so be careful for that. And finally, he gains a much more devastating attack where he will make his lantern float in front of him, swirl his hands, and unleash a lightning storm at your location for a lot of damage. You'll want to constantly tap dodge until you are out of the area of effect. If you do get caught in it, be prepared to heal for quite a lot. For hard mode, the fiery monster does need to take a lot more damage to his Astral Aegis before he is stunned, and I also noticed an additional attack where he will wave his left hand and then go for a grab, which will create an area of effect around him which will grab nearby players. Spiritual vines will spread from the ground and then grip a nearby player. You will need to mash your interact key in order to struggle out of this, just like you would a TN high grab. Other than that, a trio makes quick work of the first level Eventide Ember on normal and hard difficulty. The second level, Dharma-Ending Ruin, mostly centers around waves of enemies. After you get through enough enemies, the Mountain Ghost will spawn in the middle of the Eventide Temple area. The Mountain Ghost's mechanics are centered around large, sweeping attacks that are easily telegraphed. The main normal attacks you'll want to watch out for are his big leftward swing, his uppercut swing from the right side, his large rightward swing, and his overhead right. Tap dodges will be your best friend when it comes to these moves. His focus attacks to watch out for are his large double swing. This one is by far the easiest one to counter. His combo focus attack after a normal swing. You'll want to be on the lookout for this after he does a normal flat swing like so. And also his stomp. His stomping attack is a little bit different because it does not involve a flash, but once you see him lift his leg with blue focus, you'll want to counter right at the precise moment his leg comes down. If you happen to mistime this, he will regain Astral Aegis and you'll have to deal more damage to him to defeat him. His last special mechanic in the normal mode is his charge. His charge is not counterable and it lasts for a long time. It's really hard to outrun it, but what you can do is try to scale rush off the walls and also try to grapple to the buildings above. You may notice that the boss has no way to attack you from here, so you can use it to get a free heal if you're having trouble. In hard mode, the attacks are much the same, except that the Mountain Ghost attacks a little bit quicker, charges a bit more often, and also gains 2 extra focus attacks like so. Other than that, with a decent trio, this fight should be quick work for you. And now for the final level of Chapter 1, we have Omnius Descent. In this level, you'll be fighting Omnius Hellscorch, which is a pretty tough boss if you've never faced him before. However, he does have some attack patterns that I'm going to point out here. In normal mode, Omnius wields a sword the entire fight. The objective is pretty simple, reduce his health to 0, and you beat the level. His most common basic attack is this uppercut slash when you're in close range. Tap dodging to the side is a good counter for this. He can follow up this attack in one of 3 ways: an instant focus attack, a delayed focus attack, or a giant wind-up into a normal attack. The focus attacks are easy to see coming as he will glow blue and the flash will indicate when his attack is actually coming out. However, with the normal attack, he will tuck to the right-hand side and then unleash a big slash after a long delay. If you see the tuck, it's time to back dodge and run away. Omnius does have a 1-2-3 combo out of this with a normal attack, a focus attack, and then a quick claw attack from the right hand side. If you do not counter the focus attack after this first normal attack, then you will want to dodge out of the way. Speaking of that previous normal attack where he tucks to the right, he can also do this raw without any previous moves. Again, you'll want to back dodge. Omnius also has a ranged focus attack where he will wind up his sword much like a long sword in the Battle Royale mode. The timing is very precise here as the attack comes out as soon as he flashes blue, so you'll need to wait a few seconds and time the blue flash. As soon as the flash goes off, you'll want to either counter or tap dodge to the side. Omnius also has a long wind up focus attack where he will lean to his right hand side, your left hand side, and then lunge forward. You will want to either dodge or counter the lunge. Omnius also has a normal charge of his own where he will drag his sword to his left hand side, your right hand side, and charge across the battlefield. At the end of this attack, he will have a blue focus swing. The best way to deal with this is to get out of the way of the charge and take the time to heal. Omnius also has a normal attack where he will wave his sword to his left hand side and then do a flashy spinning attack. You will notice this move if he does not directly attack you and move his sword to the left hand side. Omnius also has a jumping homing attack. The best way to deal with this is to time it properly and then tap dodge. The timing is very much like this: 1001, 1002. Once you get to 1002, that's when he lunges, so you'll want to tap dodge at 1002. If you deplete Omnius's Astral Aegis, you're of course able to attack him very freely. However, whenever he comes back to, you will need to back away as he does the spinning attack every time he recovers his Astral Aegis. Once at 50% health, Omnius will then disappear and summon forth some evil ints to keep you entertained. These ints will drop valuable healing items, so you'll want to make sure to collect them as much as possible. Once these ints are defeated, Omnius will teleport back and then do a focus attack where he summons forth these evil spirits. These spirits will charge at you, but they are also counterable, so you can either counter them or dodge them. After this, Omnius will wind up for a largely damaging attack. The way to get through this is to either have a Kurumi on your team or to grapple to the nearby temple and get in the air, as this is a grounded attack. After that, it's business as usual until Omnius is defeated. Now, hard mode is where things get interesting. Hard mode is basically the same, except that Omnius has better attack and defense. However, at 10% health, Omnius will then transform. Omnius will gain all of his health and Astral Aegis back and then turn into this. Now, Omnius no longer has a sword and has instead traded it for longer hair and claws. As such, his attack patterns are completely different, so let's go through them. Omnius has a normal attack where he will wind up his left claw and swipe upward after a long delay. He also has a favorite combo where he will wind back both of his claws and glow blue focus. He will then lunge forward with both of his claws, do a spin move that's normal, and then do a focus attack lunging attack. The first and third moves of this combo are obviously counterable, and all of them are dodgeable. In addition to this, Omnius has another combo where he will wind back his right claw and strike with a normal attack after a delay, and then do a focus attack after an even longer delay. If you've noticed a pattern here, Omnius has a habit of delaying his attacks to an absurd degree. Thankfully, if you do manage to get him down out of his Astral Aegis, he does not have a get-up attack like his other form does. Omnius also has another basic attack where he will strike with both his left and his right, one after another. You'll want to dodge either to the side or backward and be prepared for the second hit. Omnius has another favorite normal attack where he will raise his right hand, do a spinning kick, and immediately combo it into a lunging blue focus attack. The attack is wide in range, and the key here is to iframe the first part of the attack and counter the lunge. Of course, you may have noticed by now that Omnius does have a habit of turning towards new targets in the middle of his attack animation, so everyone on the battlefield will need to be alert for this kind of move, as he does have a lot of range with it. And just like his beginner form, Omnius also has a jumping lunging attack, and the timing is about the same. At 50% health, just like his first form, he will then enter a focus attack where he will charge up these flying spirits, and they will lunge out to attack everyone in the party. These again can be countered or dodged through, and after this he will deal a devastating grounded attack. Just like the first form of Omnius, you will need to grapple to the higher buildings and stay in the air until this attack is done. And just like his first form, Omnius has a charging attack and will deal blue focus right after the charging animation. And that is it for the final level for both normal and hard difficulty. I hope this video helped you learn about the new mechanics for the new Showdown mode, and also all of the boss moves and mechanics that you can use to your advantage whenever you're out there in the Showdown mode. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to NARAKA for allowing me to make this video on their channel. And with that, I've been OSK, and y'all have a great day. See you all out there.